Good afternoon, Gato Squad. How are we doing today? It's not surprising that it's raining again. It's a little from the rain, but take a look here. Got a little rain on here. What's up, Matthew? No worries, it's all good. We'll wait a little bit so people can get in. Pure guap. What is going on, man? Let's talk about this beast. I'm about to start working on it because it finally stopped raining for a little bit. Yeah, storms, yeah, and they're coming in. We had basically rain and drizzle all day up until right now. Elias, what's up? Not Elias, Bob, what's up? Elian. How are we doing today, guys? Yeah, I got the glasses on. Allergies are kicking in. No worries. Thinesh, how are you, man? FF Mayhem, thanks for the kind words, man. CMZ, appreciate it, man, appreciate it. It's been rough last few, I guess the last few weeks, last couple of weeks. It's been really busy with things outside the channel, life stuff. And we'll do a little update on what's going on there. Good stuff, but, you know, it's been really, really busy lately. Pure Guap, what's with the question marks? What's going on? Take a look at the Prelude real quick. Justin, what's going on, man? Terrible weather. Take a look at this. Have you guys seen this yet? I put the roll bar in the Prelude. Had the whole install done. It was awesome. It's all good. So I did a video on the install for this. None of you have watched it. So go over and watch that when you get a chance. But yeah, more on that when I get back. And I'll tell you guys where I'm going in a little bit. There's 335D. And then of course the Type R. So we're going to talk about Type R, of course. Jane is unfortunately not going to be able to join us today. She's busy packing. So the reason I've been so busy in the last couple of weeks is because we are gonna go on a little vacation trip. And we do that once a year. We're gonna have our neighbors come and check on our cat. We have a bunch of people coming to the house throughout the week, but we won't be here. We will be out in Dominican Republic. So I expect a couple of live videos, maybe some pictures. Dominican Republic, this is the hat I'm wearing. What's up, Morris? Thanks for joining. So yeah, we'll be out, and so you'll see a little bit of, well, you see a lot less videos for the next couple of weeks, so 2 weeks. And it should, you know, we'll pick it right back up when we get back. We'll be doing some racing when we get back. The weekend we get back, I'll be going to a hill climb, so that'll be fun. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement is that I've built up the Prelude that has the roll bar in it. Go watch the video if you haven't yet. And like I said, we'll be doing that hill climb race when I come back. Let me go ahead and take a little seat here. I'm going to be doing a lot of videos with the Type R. There's some brake pad videos that I want to do. Some people are confused with the Type R. Actually, let me go back here and show you guys. So I've done 3 track days with, there's a bunny that ran through. 3 track days with these brake pads that I have on here. These are really cheap, inexpensive brake pads. Some people on the Facebook group think it's a terrible idea to run these brake pads at the track. Not that I recommend it, but I don't really see a problem with running these. It's not really a big deal. So I'll do a video on review on those pads. Right now I have the OEM pads on the Type R. Take a look at that. Full review on these Duralast Max pads. I'm gonna get a lot of hate on this as well, but whatever. These pads are actually the perfect brake pad for daily driving. They are the best brake pad for daily driving. Full video, full review on that coming soon. As soon as I get the time, maybe when I get back, we'll see. And what do you guys think of my new little dolly here? put all my junk on here. I can work on stuff. I have, you know, I have this thing. I got the impact wrenches. I got the impact stuff, some camera equipment. Love this thing. I'll do a video on this. If you're a home mechanic, you're gonna love this stuff. It's like $100 or something like that. It's the best thing. I'm really upset that I haven't done this sooner. With this, I just put everything on here and just roll it out when I need it, put it back in when I don't. And right now it's out because we're going to be doing some things to the Type R, brake pad related things, and we're going to be changing the fluid to this fluid right here. So this is my favorite fluid. It's not, you know, the best race fluid out there. I don't bill it as that, but it's got really good specs. You see that boiling point, minimum 536. It's really good. So it's something that I will be talking about as well. I've been using this already at the track. I think it's improved the braking of the Type R, so I'll do a little video on this as well. I love this thing. I put it on all my cars. It's the best. And for the price too. So you get a liter of it for like, I don't know, 20 bucks. It's really, really good. If you guys missed it, this is the BMW 335D oil. And this is the oil that I put in the WRX. I'll probably be putting it into the Prelude as well. That's my impact wrench. And that's S2000. Nothing on this yet. I haven't done anything this week at all. So that's pretty much the update for the cars. What are you guys most excited to see? You guys are probably most excited to see the Type R videos. Am I right? Let me know in the comments. Since I don't have Jane, I'm in charge of the comments here. Let's see here. Where are we? So Pure Guap, I still have the question marks. What's going on with that? Justin, wonderful weather. I'm tired of this rain, man. I mean, all of my work and videos have been delayed because of the rain. So you can blame the rain for the reduced amount of videos for the last 2 weeks. I lost power for 3 days. I don't know if you guys remember that. I couldn't do anything. And then when I try to go outside and do stuff, I can't do anything because I don't have a external garage. The Garage Queen, this bitch right here, has the only garage spot that I have because the top doesn't really close that well and it leaks, so I can't leave it out. It'll get water in it and then you get a leak. It's not a good situation. So I am shopping around for some garages. Hopefully by the end of July, I am aiming at building a full garage with a lift and all that good stuff. So look forward to that. But yeah, I am taking a little break the next couple of weeks. I will be releasing videos. You know, I'll still be working. You know, I won't forget about you guys, but it won't be as many as you're used to. The last couple of weeks actually have been reduced videos as well as I ramp other things up. There are some changes coming to my life and probably to the channel pretty soon. I'll give you guys that information when it's all 100% concrete. But we're still going to be doing the racing. We're still going to be doing the track days. We're still going to be dealing with the Type R, of course. We're building this thing. We're going to build it up my way. So I know a lot of, there's a few channels now, more popular channels that have bought a Type R. I think Dustin Williams has one, and he's going to build it his own way. He's already throwing coilovers on it, which I think is a mistake. But hey, to each their own, right? So I'll be building my car my own way. I'm going to build it as a race car. This is going to be a race Type R. We're going to actually compete in races with this thing. And I don't know if you guys have been following Honda racing, but their Civic Type R has actually overheated and blown a head gasket. Unbelievable, right? So yesterday I was following along on their Instagram. I was waiting for them to go out to race with their Civic Type R, their stock Civic Type R. All they do is remove the air conditioning condenser, which is basically a radiator fan in front of the regular radiator. They remove that, and usually that's sufficient cooling. Unfortunately, the Civic Type R race car has overheated and blown a head gasket. So I definitely do not want to keep pushing my Type R because I don't have access to a separate motor like they do. They can just go ahead and get another motor from Honda basically for free or cheap. I don't have that access, so I got to be very careful what I do with my motor. So I'm going to be upgrading the cooling for sure. I'm looking at oil coolers, radiators, and I am also looking at different front fascias for the car. So look out for those things. It's going to be quite the journey, but I'm going to improve the cooling on this thing, the braking a little bit. I'm going to improve the suspension a little bit, and I'm going to throw a roll bar in there. And this is obviously these plans for the next 6 months. So I'll throw a roll bar in there. We're going to be doing SCCA events. I may even do hill climbs with this thing. I know I'm building the Prelude for that, but I definitely want to do the same thing with the Type R. And yeah, we're gonna see where you go with that. Time trials are definitely in the menu as well. If you don't know what time trials are, it's basically we go to a track and we do the same thing as track dates, but it's just timed. And you do it one lap at a time, and the fastest lap wins. So I'll be doing that with the Type R for sure. That's something I'm looking forward to. So look out for that. Now, where was I? Bob met a nice girl last trip to DR. He's going to San Pedro and Hard Rock Resort for a few days. Bob, we almost could meet up. I'll be in Puerto Plata, Bob, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm going to Puerto Plata for a couple of days only, so you know, part of my travels I like to do a couple of resort days, and so we're doing some lifestyles. It's called. It's gonna be a lot of fun. If you're in lifestyles within the next couple of weeks, I'll be there for like a few days. So let me know. We're happy to meet up. Thanesh wants more Type R builds. Justin likes the roll cage. You better go watch that video, Justin. Nobody watches the Prelude videos. Still gonna keep making them though. Thanks, Matthew. Do you think they're really gonna stop making the Type Rs? I don't think they're gonna stop making the Type Rs anytime soon. I think we're gonna get at least through 2019. Don't know the future after that. There may be a refresh in like a mid-cycle refresh. So I'm looking forward to that kind of news. I'm not sure what's going on with that yet. Hopefully we get that refresh. Morris, I said hello to you again. So FF Mayhem, he's got to get back to work. Making the 2.0 T Accord ground kits. All right, man. Thanks for joining in, and thanks for making those ground kits, man. Show me a picture or something on Instagram. I want to see what you make. Justin, thank you. Pure Guap, I already answered that question. The Bunny Hit VTEC looks professional. Thank you, sir. Yeah, I mean, I never actually installed a roll bar on a car, but you know, I take my time. I'm very methodical, and I make sure I do it correctly. Before I work, I'll say hello, Dolly, because I do love that Dolly. This Dolly right here, I mean, I'm so upset I never got it before. Never even thought about it. I was at Harbor Freight, and I'm like, oh, wow, look at this thing. And it was like $100, and it's 500-pound capacity. It carries everything I need. I love it. Oh, man, Matthew says, yep. Raul says, do you test your oil? I don't because, I mean, I guess I could, and maybe I should start doing it for reviews or something like that, but honestly, I have had pretty good experiences with the oils that I use. I don't really stay too long with the oil. I change them before they're supposed to be changed. So if you test your oil, they'll basically tell you to change them around 10,000 miles, and it really depends on how you use the oil. So if you're using the oil at the track, I recommend you change after every track day, or after every 2 or 3 track days at the very most. You should change the oil in your car. It's just the heat in the car really breaks down the oil, no matter what oil you use, including AMSOIL. AMSOIL is really good. But you really should change your oil more frequently if you track your car. And if I do send my oils out and test it, you know, I could see if there's any bearing messing up or any kind of other wear items that are wearing out inside the engine. But I don't know. Would you guys? I guess I should ask you guys. Would you be interested to see if I'm getting oil? If I get oil tested, would you guys be interested to see the results on that? Turtle on Wheels, new sub, been watching out for a week now, watched all the WRX videos. Awesome, man, thanks for that. A lot of more WRX videos to come, of course. My plans for the WRX, I just need to buy a battery, and then we'll get it on the road. It's all set in terms of oils. If you guys saw the oils video on the WRXs, I changed the differential oil, the transmission oil, the front differential oil, and the engine oil, and I'm gonna go ahead and start driving it around. There's a few things I gotta do for maintenance, but we'll be fixing that stuff up as we go along. Mad Hatter, why aren't you watching the Monaco Grand Prix from Monte Carlo? I was watching their live feed. I have it in a little window as I'm working. I've just been so busy, man. Mad Hatter, I haven't had time to even breathe almost the last 2 or 3 weeks. So I do a lot of consulting work. I do a lot of work around the house. I do a lot of car work, of course. And you know, I've got new plates for the cars. I'll show you guys. I mean, you guys will see it as you go along. If you follow my Instagram, I do stories on Instagram all the time. So I give you guys real-time updates on Instagram, just in case you guys are wondering what I'm doing with my time. I'm not just sitting around doing nothing, right? So yeah, I've just been so busy lately. I just, you know, can't sit down and do one thing. I gotta multitask a lot. So Bob's going in July, so I won't see you. So Bob was at Rui Bachata in March. It's nice in Puerto Plata and more economical for sure. You still in the market for a pickup? I see you with a Colorado. I am in the market for a pickup as well. That's the other thing I'm also looking at. I mean, it's like 1,000 different things I'm doing. I guess when you're building a race car and trying to do some racing, it's harder than I expected, right? So, I mean, I should have realized that. I should have kind of realized there's going to be a lot more challenging to be racing like I want to be racing, but it's okay for now. I've just been really busy, like getting the building up to the racing. A lot of people that I'm going to be racing with have been racing for 10, 20 years. So their cars have been tweaked and modified and they're ready. You know, I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from zero. Literally, I have no cars available with roll bars or anything like that. So I got to basically take out the Prelude, make it reliable, put in a roll bar in there. I have to drill holes in it and hammer things in the interior and paint things with Rust-Oleum in there so it doesn't rust. Hey guys, I see a lot of you guys joined in. If you haven't, please go ahead and hit that like button. Anyway, so I've just been really busy building that. I'm going to be building the Type R as well, and that just takes a lot of time, a lot more time than I expected. So it's just, you know, I have to realize that things take time, and I have to take my time with them. So you guys want to see me test the oil? I'll look into that. And then just interesting to see the engine dynamics as well as oil claims and your experience with heat, etc. Yeah, well, my Type R at the last track day got really, really hot. So as you expect, some things will change with the oil. So maybe I probably should. And it's not that expensive. So I'll go ahead and order a oil kit. And when I change the oil on the Type R, I'll send it away and I'll go ahead and update you guys on that. Anthony Ants, why the Type R, not WRX? I'll also be building the WRX, but the WRX is more of a rally cross car, it's more of a winter car. I don't consider the WRX a summer car. It is an all-wheel drive car, and I don't think I'm going to be using the Prelude or the Type R as much in the winter. I'll be using the WRX and the truck more in the winter when I get the truck. So you can expect a lot more build up in the fall with the WRX. I'll be, you know, doing maintenance items. I'll do some upgrades. I'm thinking about putting a slightly bigger turbo in there. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that with WRX, so we'll see how it goes with that. Black Thump, is your gear grinding problem sorted out meanwhile? Not sure. Might miss you talking about it. Yes, so if you missed the videos, I picked up the Type R from Honda of Hackettstown. They installed a modified clutch master cylinder and a new transmission, and now my transmission is completely fixed. The clutch pedal feel is 1,000 times better than before, so you can attribute the clutch pedal feel 100% to the clutch master cylinder, the modified one, without the damper. And I really think to fix the Type R, you do need the clutch master cylinder with the damper removed. I know a lot of people have some mixed feelings about that. There's a big, like, it's a heated subject on a lot of forums. So from my experience, take that, with a grain of salt, obviously. From my experience, I think the modified clutch master cylinder makes a humongous difference. It's been known to fix the 8th gen and 9th gen Civic Si with gear grinds. It fixes those up right up. So I think a modified clutch master cylinder is the best first thing you should do to your Type R if you're having grinding issues, and go from there. I think it'll fix your problem. I've already heard from 2 people that have changed their clutch master cylinders for E-mans, and their problems have gone away. So, you know, that's my proof anyway. Jose, oh, Black says that's great news. Thank you. Jose asks, oops, did the R ever overheat when you were not tracking it? No, but I can see on a long highway pull, let's say if you go from like 10 miles an hour to 120 miles an hour, not that you should be doing that on the Type R on the highway, but we all know some of us do that every once in a while. You will heat up the car significantly, especially if you have your air conditioner on and it's like 90 degrees out and it's humid and, you know, a lot of different factors, but you will heat up the car a lot, so that's something to keep in mind. And let's see, how much does your Type R cost stock and how much money have you put into it? I paid $37,000 out the door, including a bunch of accessories installed. Like I installed the door, well, I had them install the door sill and the underlighting kit and all that good stuff. These are videos from back in like September and November. And yeah, so that's $37,000 out the door, and I've only put like $1,000 into it. Or maybe $1,200 into it. $1,500. I should do a video on this, right? So I think I put $1,500 into it. Not too much, but a lot more money about to be put into it. So I gotta get an intercooler. I'm getting an oil catch can. That's on the way actually, and the oil catch can is on the way. And I have to improve the cooling overall. I may have to buy a oil cooler kit that I've seen online. I think Greddy, Greddy, Greddy makes that, and an oil cooler for the Type R, so I may have to buy that, and that'll cost me another $1,000 overall for the whole thing, all the things. So the intercooler, the oil catch can, and the oil cooler may cost like another $1,000 to $2,000. I'm trying to keep the overall everything all in price, not including tires and brake pads, because those are wear items in my opinion, under $40K, including the roll bar. So my whole budget for the racing Type R is like $40K, and then plus tires and brake pads, which I consider separate to the cost of the car. So that's my budget for the Type R. Hopefully we keep to it, and I think we can. What is up, Wing King? How's it going, man? Raul says, what are your thoughts on the guy on FKA page that claims to be able to walk people through the clutch delay valve removal? It's not that hard to do. It's just not something that I really wanted to get into myself. You do have to take it out, and if you do it wrong, I mean, it's just a pain to kind of deal with. If you have the time, go ahead and do the steps. It's not too hard. Just make sure you do it correctly, and you'll be all good to go. I just kind of left it to professionals. So Emmanuel, or K20Z 3-all motor for the win, on Instagram. He's been doing it for like 5 years now, for the 8th gens and 9th gens, and it's a well-known product. I've seen the people reviewing his product online. I've seen videos of Civic Si owners with his clutch master cylinder online, so I know he can do it well, and I can probably do it well myself. I just didn't. Like I said, I don't have the time to kind of deal with it. But if you have the time, I'm sure he can actually teach you guys how to do that. I would try it out myself if you have the time. So I say hello to Wing King. What is my thoughts on the CTR truck? I think it's kind of cool, but it's more for attention than anything else. They just want to get publicity, and how better to get publicity than to take a very popular car like the Civic Type R and turn it into something that has not been turned into anything yet. So, you know, Civic Type R truck is kind of cool. Not that useful, but it's kind of cool. What's going on here? S2000 race car. Not this year. The S2000 is not going to be the race car this year. I'll get lucky if I take it out to the track or an autocross this year, even once. It's just not turning out to be the year for the S2000. It's not a big deal. I have 3 cars that I'm working on at the same exact time: the Type R, the WRX, and the Prelude. And I had to maintain the 335D, and I just gotta keep this thing alive for now. So it's not too hard to keep a car alive if you don't really use it that much. So that's what's going on with the S2000. I will be working on it for sure. S2K, I know you like my S2000 videos. I'll be driving it. You know, I'll be doing driving videos of the S2000. I'll do an update at some point in the middle of the summer. Once it gets much warmer, I'll put some nice tires on this, and we're definitely gonna do some drives in it and some videos with it. But there won't be any racing yet. But don't count on it never being raced. Black Thumb says, I drove the Type R and was left kind of unsure if I should buy one. I drove 250 on the German Autobahn, that's kilometers an hour, and it felt some thrill. So what's keeping you from buying the Type R? Is it the fact that it's only front-wheel drive? It's you know, the Type R should really be bought by a certain type of buyer, someone that's looking for a good cornering car, a car with probably the best chassis under $80,000. Matt Farah, if you guys know Matt Farah from the Smoking Tire, I'm sure all you guys know who Matt Farah is. He said, I think today or yesterday, that he drove a Lotus that's $120,000 and thought the Civic Type R mid-corner, so its cornering abilities for the Type R were better than the Lotus. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm pretty proud of the Type R myself. This car right here, the chassis on it is just incredible. And really, if you're looking for something that handles amazingly, this is the car for you. If you want a straight line machine, really isn't the car for you. Front wheel drive, drag racing just doesn't make sense. I don't care what you're gonna say. If Shades Wade's on, I know Shades is gonna complain about that, but it's all good. And Rose says, what are your thoughts on the upgraded LSD from Gaikon? I mean, I haven't seen it, but an upgraded LSD, I mean, it'd be pretty cool. LSD means limited slip differential, and I don't think I would get it. I don't think the car needs it. It has a pretty decent limited slip differential from the factory. Once these cars get on in their age, I'd say in 5 to 10 years, a limited slip differential may need to be replaced, and that's when you start looking for upgrades. But yeah, it's cool that they're making aftermarket LSDs for it. Black Thumb says, one of my cars is a CRX with 150 horsepower, but it gives me such a good feedback while driving. It's much slower than the Type R, but it feels faster. I can't describe the issue any better. I completely understand. These bigger, more safe. So the CRX, your CRX, is old, right? So being old, it had no sound deadening. It had, I don't think those cars have power steering. Correct me if I'm wrong. So you basically have a direct connection to the road. You're very low to the ground. There's no crash protection, not compared to the Civic, the newer Civics. So there really is nothing surrounding you. It's almost like riding a motorcycle. If you ride a motorcycle, it's you on a two-wheeled vehicle and then the road. So it's a very liberating feeling. It's also very unsafe, but it's very liberating feeling, and I know the feeling. That's the same feeling you get when you drive a CRX. CRX gives you that type of feeling. My counter argument to that is that the Civic Type R is the best new car to give you the best feeling, driving feel of any car I've driven. I've driven Mustangs, I've driven Camaros, I've driven the new WRXs, the STIs, I've driven older Evos, and I'm just saying older cars feel better on the road. Not necessarily faster like you say, but I understand what the feeling is. So Wing King's hanging out in Florida. That's pretty cool. Isn't it raining a lot in Florida? Anthony says, is the Type R a good daily driver? Anthony, that's a good question. It is a good daily driver if you have an ulterior motive. So let's say you're like a weekend racer, or you do autocross on the weekends. It's the perfect daily driver because it has all the room in the back. It's a lot of space. It's very comfortable. It gets decent gas mileage. You know, you can coax 30 miles to the gallon out of this thing if you really need to. But is it the best daily driver? No. In the same Civic lineup, the Civic Touring, the Civic Hatchback Touring, I know it's only automatic and the CVT is dreadful, but it's got leather seats, it's got the adaptive cruise control, it's got all the amenities that you could ever think of. It's more comfortable, it's quieter, it gives you way better gas mileage. It's not slow either. It's got that 1.5T. That would make a better daily driver than the Type R. But If you're like me and you kind of want a track day car, but you're also going to be using it as a daily driver, it makes a really good case for itself. It's got, like I said, all that space in the back, and it really is the best car for people that are track day weekend warriors, because you can throw your wheels on the back. For example, I can load up the back of the Type R with those wheels and tires, put it in the back, and drive anywhere with it, and go there, change the wheels with whatever equipment I need, because like I have all the space in the world. Chase Mustangs all day, chase Corvettes all day, and not have a problem when I'm doing that. Good luck doing that in, for example, S2000. So if you have an S2000, like the one I have behind me here, you can't carry spare tires. You can't carry that many tools. You can't carry that much stuff. So you end up either having to tow a trailer, or you put on the tires at home and drive with them. So you really can't put Hoosiers on there because you heat cycle them on the road and you don't want that. Or if it rains, you're in real trouble. So it just really makes a really good track day car for track day warriors that love to also take their cars on their commutes. We have a deer very close to us in the woods, though. He's making noises, or she. We'll ignore her for now. And what else do we have? Mario says, what do you think about the new 2019 Acura RDX A-Spec? It's got the same engine as the Type R, which is really cool. And if I was looking for an SUV, I would probably go towards that. More recently, I drove the BMW X2, which probably competes with the RDX. I much prefer Acura's RDX to the BMW X2. Daniel's on. What's going on, Daniel? Privyet. Joseph, what's up, man? I have a question for you guys. Do deer moo? I'm hearing like a deer mooing in the woods over there. It's like behind over there. He's mooing, or she's mooing. It's very weird. Anyway, thanks for joining, Daniel. Thanks for joining, Joseph. Carlos, what's going on, man? Black Thumb, no power steering. Old, light, and very unsafe. I agree. Yeah, like a motorcycle, though. But when you're on a motorcycle, you feel the road, you feel the elements, you feel the change in temperature. Like, I remember when I rode my motorcycle a lot, I would be riding down, and I could be a weather person, because I could be like, well, I can feel the moisture in the air changing, the temperature dropping, storms about to hit, because I can, you are in the weather. You're in the outside. There's nothing between you and the road or the car next to you. It's very liberating. It's very fun, but it's also very unsafe. He owns so Black Thumb owns a Lancia Delta. That's an awesome car. He might sell it for a modern Type R. If I get a good deal on a white one, I might really do it. I mean, like I said, if you're looking for the best handling car under 50 grand US, it's going to be hard for you to find a better handling car. Even under 80 grand, I'd say, for handling, pure handling now. I'm not talking about speed. For pure handling, you're going to have a hard time finding a better car for under 80 grand in the US. If you could only choose WRX or Type R, which would I choose? God, that's a hard question. Anthony, an easier question would be, if I could choose the S2000 over the Type R, I'd choose the S2000. If I could choose the S2000 over the WRX, I'd choose the S2000. Now, WRX versus Type R. There goes the deer. Hold on. What you want, buddy? Who wants venison? Oh, he's coming toward me? Interesting. Yeah, we have a lot of deer in this area, by the way. Isn't that cool? Anyways, just thought I'd show you guys one of my neighbors. But yeah, WRX versus Type R. I think I'd choose the Type R, to be honest with you. It's just the handling of a Type R is so good. It's just so much better than anything I've ever driven. The capabilities of the Type R is just that good. Look at this deer. He's just hanging out. Mooing like a cow. But yeah, Type R over WRX. I'm saying it now, I guess. Black Thumb says, take the Type R. It's much more fun than WRX. Yeah, it's just fun. Joseph says, Joseph's clapping. It must be a skinny cow. Might be a kangaroo. Only if I lived in Australia would that be a kangaroo. Do you feel the overheating on track day was due to K-tuning, Joseph? No, I don't think so at all, actually, because the video you guys saw was the second session. And on the first session, I actually was playing around with the tunes, and I put, since I have the stepped tune, I could just flip the switch and I could change the tunes on the fly. I put the factory tune on there, and it was still heating up just as badly as on the more aggressive tune. It just has to do with the fact that the radiator, it's just not enough airflow for the radiator, and I think it needs an oil cooler as well. I'm not a big fan of the way that Honda handles the cooling on the Type R. They should have done a better job, in my opinion. But they were, unfortunately, it was a packaging issue, I think, because, you know, they make the hatchback off of the, well, they make the Type R off the hatchback platform. The hatchback platform was probably made for more for regular people that commute with the car. They built the Type R off that hatchback, and there's not enough cooling for such a powerful four-cylinder, 2-liter turbocharged engine. So it wasn't due to K-tuner. I mean, it doesn't help, obviously, but it's just an overall cooling issue. I think even stock Type Rs, as I showed you guys, or if I told you guys, the Honda racing team, there's a Honda racing team out there with a stock Type R, no tuning at all. They overheated and blew a head gasket. That goes to show you even stock Type Rs are overheating and blowing head gaskets. Daniel says he just woke up in the Mercedes and ate breakfast, watched the live stream, and continued the trip to Moscow. What's going on in Moscow, Daniel? Matthew says he loves the environment. It's a really nice environment. I'm literally in the woods. I have a whole lot of acreage, 20 plus acres, and I have a lot of woods. I have all my neighbors are basically friends, and they watch the property for me. They watch the house. And it's just a really nice place to be. I love this area. I love this neighborhood. A lot of deer, a lot of wildlife. We have like 4 or 5 hawks now that I've seen, at least 1 falcon, and a lot of little bunnies and squirrels. And I have a buddy, I have a chipmunk that always comes up to me when I'm working on the cars. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Andrew says, get a Toyota 86 would be a nice addition. Yeah, the GT86 would be nice. The only problem is that it's lack of horsepower. I mean, my Prelude has the same horsepower as a GT86 or Toyota 86. I was actually going to buy a Toyota or Scion FRS when they were first coming out with it. This is back 2012, I believe. I was actually excited to buy one. I was excited to change my Prelude for an FRS, but when the specs came out and it was only 200 horsepower, I was like, why bother with it? I mean, it is rear-wheel drive, but my Prelude it is front-wheel drive. My Prelude has a limited slip differential, and it has 220 horsepower with the H22A, so it's not really that much of an upgrade. So I never changed it. Daniel says, in Siberia, everybody would be like, look, there's a deer, get the gun. I mean, Daniel, I see at least 10 deer a day. I mean, if I really want to, I could start shooting them and eating them, and I could fill like 10 freezers full of venison, but it's all good. So Daniel's driving a load to Moscow and back to Pravo-Katinsky. Very nice. Anderson says 200 horsepower. That's crazy. Yeah, that's what the FRS has, 200 horsepower. So you got to throw a supercharger on there almost immediately, and then you deal with the heating issues with that. There are overheating issues. You know, I haven't seen that many FRSs on the tracks with decent horsepower that are not overheating. I just haven't. And for more information on that, check out Savage Geese. If you haven't checked out that channel, he had a FRS and he supercharged it, and he had a whole ton of issues with overheating because he actually took his to the track days. And if I'm gonna have a car like that, it's for track days, it's for racing, it's for autocross. You know, I don't build cars for shows. I build cars for speed and for fun. For me, cars aren't really my thing for shows. I don't, you know, I'm not gonna. I might one day crazy wrap it, but only to have fun with it, like kind of not really for shows. I want to set up my car first as a track car or a fast car. Blackthumb says, is the Prelude with 20 horsepower comparable to an Integra with 190 horsepower? Did you have the opportunity to compare them? Yes. The problem with the Prelude is it's very heavy compared to the Integra. The Integra weighs like 25 or 2,600 pounds. The Prelude weighs 2,900 pounds. That's quite a difference, and especially in a front-wheel drive car, all that weight in the front. So let's take a little meander over here. So you see that long hood? It looks cool. But the fact that it has a long hood, the engine's right in the front of that, like right there basically, and it makes the weight balance 60-40. And it's basically the same weight balance as this, by the way, but the difference is that this car wasn't really designed to be a pure the Prelude was more of an experimental platform for Honda to try things out on. They had their SH, not all-wheel drive, but super handling system was on here as well. The what is it called? STTS, I guess they call it, or SHHS. I forget what it was called, but it was like the torque vectoring for the front wheel drive was on this. And they used, you know, it was more of a touring car for Honda. They call this H22 the big block of the Honda world. ATTS, there you go, ATTS, sorry about that. But yeah, this is a heavy car for Honda. Not many people race it. In fact, I've never really seen that many people race it. I think there's 2 or 3 Preludes I've ever seen racing with it. I'm happy I'm doing it. If only to show that the Prelude can handle its own. It's a really great handling car, especially with the Type S engine in there. It'll do well. I've got the roll bar in there already in case you guys missed it. But yeah, I can't wait for that. The WRX, let's not forget about that. We will be building that up as well. No need to kill deers if not in a survival situation. Well, Matthew, have you tasted venison? It's really good. And actually, if you don't kill them around here, they may starve to death. So it's actually for the benefit of deer to have a hunting season and actually save them from dying of starvation in the winter. It's a big problem around here. There's way too many deer because there's no natural hunters. Anyway, Daniil says, at winter we have to walk for hours in the snow, but here I see like at least 5 wolves per day in the winter. See, we don't have wolves here that much anymore. We killed them all, you know, 100 years ago, Daniil. So the woods that we have are not filled with wolves. We have lots of bear and lots of deer. Jose says, do you think Honda will have a recall on the overheating problem with the Type R? I don't think so. The overheating issues only happen at the track days when you're really pushing it nonstop. It never happens on the street. I mean, if you're pushing it on the street hard enough to actually have an issue while overheating, you're probably causing an accident or two. You got to push it hard non-stop for a while for it to actually start overheating. I'd say at least, you know, 3 or 4 laps of a hot track to overheat it. Raul says, can you show process for prepping for a track day, before and after, pre-race inspection, all that good stuff? Of course. I'll show, yeah, I should make a video on that. I haven't really made a video on that. I'll definitely do that. Changing the tires, yep, I'll for sure do that. I know the car's up in the air right now, if you can see that. But yeah, I'll do that for sure. Don says, I got mine gutted. So Don, what do you have gutted? A Prelude? Black Thumb, I see Integra is the way to go then. In Germany they are selling for relatively cheap. Yeah, Integra is a better race car. It is a better race car than the Prelude. If you have an Integra, if I had an Integra, I would use it, but I have a Prelude, so it's what I use. And post race, yep, I'll definitely do a series on how to prep for track day, how to get the car running well, how to pass inspection, how to deal with the tire pressures, how to deal with the brakes, how to bleed the brakes, all that good stuff. I'll do a series on that for sure. Rolu asks, did K-Tuner impact driving dynamics, steering, cornering? A little bit. K-Tuner's tune really increases the power, especially in the mid RPM range. So mid cornering, if you really gunned it with a factory tuned, you'll slide a little bit, but not too much. With the K-Tuner, it will slide. It will definitely understeer like crazy. Daniel says there are a lot of bears and mooses as well. Yep, I'm sure. Anderson says, are you planning to get the new Toyota Supra when it comes out? I'm thinking about it. Would you guys prefer me to have a Toyota Supra or a Civic Type R? Because I can't have both. There's my chipmunk friend. So I can't have both. I can't have two, expensive sports cars in the same fleet. Don has a Prelude, very nice. Raul says, do you buy track insurance? I do not, but excuse me. That's because I tend to be a little bit risky. I'm not as risk averse as most other people. Do I recommend if you get track day insurance? Depends on how your financial situation is. I can probably stand to lose 40K. I mean, it wouldn't be a good day, right, if I crash this and I lose 40K. But I'm confident that I'd be able to avoid any accidents if I can with the Type R. If I lose 40K, like I said, I can probably deal with it. If you can't deal with losing 40K, definitely get the insurance. Goonigans, how are you, man? Thanks for joining. Don has a 2000 Prelude Type SH. Nice. The ATTS is actually very useful until you start really modding it. I have a Type S engine in there, Don, and I have a limited slip differential, the M2B4 transmission, if you know what that is. And I had the Type S seats in there. I'm going to sell them. So I'll be selling my Type S seats as well. What size tires do you have on the CTR right now? Well, I can show you right now. I believe they're 245 4018s, but I could be wrong. I was correct. 245 4018. And they are Sumitomo HTR all seasons. There they are. They're the best. I love these tires. I love them so much, I put them on the BMW as well. Really good tires. HTR all seasons from Sumitomo's. Really inexpensive, really good tire. I actually even have them on the Prelude. And these are just, this is my wheel corner here. This is for the Prelude. It's Type R wheels and tires. All good. What else we got? What do you think about the upcoming Honda EVs? Confirmed for 2019. Looks like Civic-esque. I saw it at the New York Auto Show. I don't know if you saw my videos on the New York Auto Show, but I was with Honda Pro Jason, and I saw the electric vehicles from Honda. Pretty cool. I don't like the Fit electric vehicle I didn't see, which is really cool as well. Electric vehicles for me are not really what I would recommend for myself, at least. I have range anxiety, I guess you'd call it. Until they really improve battery technology, it's just not really for me. Daniel says I would have a Lada. Not bad. Keep the R more rare. Civic Type R, Honda for life. So this is the question with the Supra versus the Type R. I'm really leaning towards keeping the Type R. It's a lighter car. It's not as... So I think the Supra is going to be more of a GT car, like a grand touring type of car. It's going to be a show car for sure. People that go to car shows are going to love the Supra. The Type R is more of a track day type car, which is what I kind of love doing. Anderson, we got to see what the Supra brings to the table to decide. Yeah, that's true. Although from what I've been seeing, it looks like to be a pretty sweet car. It'll probably bring around 350 horsepower. It'll be automatic only. It'll probably have the 8-speed automatic from ZF, which is an amazing automatic transmission. Not a bad choice to have, to be honest. It's going to be rear-wheel drive. It's going to look pretty insane. It's going to have a very long hood, which is going to be cool to see. Like I said, it's more of a show car, possibly a drag car. It's going to be very heavy, though. That's my biggest complaint about it. It doesn't matter what it's just such a big car. It's going to be heavy no matter what you do to it. Joseph would love to get a Supra, but it's too expensive. That's also the other problem, where you could spend 35 to 40K on a Type R, or you can spend 80K on a Supra. Depends on what you're going to be using it for. I think the Type R makes a good case for itself. Did changing the tire size impact miles per hour accuracy? No, it didn't, because I got 18-inch wheels, and if you get these size tires with 18-inch wheels on the Type R, it'll basically be the exact same for tire accuracy, for speed accuracy. Kenny says, nice, I might go your route also. Thanks for the info. Glad to help. Raul says, did you keep your stock brake fluid? I did not. I changed the brake fluid. Daniel says, all electric vehicles suck. Depends on for what. They're extremely fast. Like the Tesla Model S is extremely fast. It's just not fast at, say, a track day. They overheat really fast. They lose charge really fast. It's just not really for me. So, Daniel, I kind of agree with you. But yeah, I changed the brake fluid to this, in case you guys missed it. This is my favorite brake fluid of all time. It's cheap. It does really well on track days. I've used it on the S2000. I've used it in the Prelude. I've used it on track days before. It is really, really good. What are my thoughts on the electric Civic Type R wheels? So there's a way to make these cars all-wheel drive. It's not really for me. I don't think this car needs all-wheel drive to be a viable all-day car, like a daily driver car or a track day car. Front-wheel drive is more than enough, to be quite honest with you. So I don't see a point to add all that weight in the rear of the car to make it all-wheel drive. I know I should try it before I knock it, but it's going to be expensive. It's going to be more weight to the car, and who knows how the integration is going to be. I still haven't seen any good videos of people trying it out. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at that. Daniel says, I hate Tesla because with electric semi will never work in Russia. Yeah, I don't think the electric truck from Tesla will work in Russia. I think the distances in Russia and the sparse population in Russia is really going to be a detriment to getting those trucks recharged. Out here in California, they charged me an extra $13,000. Holy crap. $58,000 for a Type R. Man, Joseph, I'm sorry to hear that. That's terrible news. That's pretty upsetting. That's not happy days with that, but at least you do have an awesome car, and it's still cheaper than the Supra, right? So you have that at least, and you know that this car will outhandle pretty much any car that you go against with. All right, guys, I think I'm gonna close it up here. It's starting to drizzle again, so we're gonna close it up. Just look out for more videos, of course. Like I said, it'll be a few less videos, but I'll do a video on this dolly thing here. I'll do a video on the brake pads. So these brake pads videos. I'll do a video on flushing the fluid and the brake fluids that I use. That one right there. And all that good stuff. So, any other comments here? Can you do episodes comparing ride feel between other CTRs, CTRs, Motec, etc.? Yeah, so I'm actually lining up a few other CTRs in the area that are modifying their cars. For example, Lawrence from East Coast FK8, he has a bunch of modifications on his car. I'll be doing that, those videos as well, just with time, of course, throughout the summer. Anything else? All right, thanks for joining up, guys. I really appreciate the comments, the questions. Raul, you were very active today. I love that. Very good. And I'll catch you guys next time. Peace out. That's a loud dog.